So, how do you stop working on yourself and start loving yourself and continue to increase your vibration, to embody more and more and more of you, your essence, your pure creator consciousness, while simultaneously letting all that old heavy energy that's been weighing you down and keeping you up here, how do you let that leave without making it a job? I wanted to bring this topic up today because I've been here in this new video series talking about how to shift your consciousness. And the trouble with that is the ego quite often interprets it, or at least tries to take it over, as an egoic job to do, right? And of course, since your ego is all about survival, it'll be right there like, all right, so I'm in charge now. I'm going to fix this. But the truth is, you're not broken, and there's no real problem to solve. There's just awareness of old energy and your choice, whether you keep it or you let it go. And of course, you're here listening, so you've already made the most important choice. Number one, you woke up. Number two, you're willing to let go of the old. But that little tricky ego really makes it difficult. And it can turn the most beautiful thing into a wretched job, can't it? So we want to, take the seriousness out of this and bring in some of the beauty, the fun, the imagination, the play, and let your whole embodiment be about enjoyment. So, what is the distinction here really between this being a job to do, another job, more work on planet Earth? Can you imagine? God, no. Or it being a beautiful, joyful opportunity to feel grateful for and excited about because every day you become lighter and lighter and lighter. And by lighter, I simply mean that identifications and old energy are heavy. They literally weight down your consciousness. Not just negative judgments, but being identified with your body. Like, this body, Kathy, I'm not Kathy. This is my home right now to experience planet Earth. But all the identifications with the body, the mind, your stories, they weigh you down. They're heavy. So, how do you let them leave with ease and grace? The first distinction to be aware of is the mind wants to analyze and fix all this old energy, right? So, we want to go from up here into thinking. Take a deep breath with me. Down here into your body, into your heart center. Let's take another breath while we're here. Hopefully, you're already there in your heart, but in case you're not, let's sink down into your body, down into your solar plexus. Take a few deep breaths while I talk. Maybe, just maybe, you're not fully in your body right now, and that's where it starts. So start to feel your breath through your body. And this is where we move from the old energy, where we were basically convinced that we were our mind and our body, or the things that we do, the gender of our body, etc., to feeling the presence, this eternal beingness within you. If you take a breath and simply feel, that's you. That's you knowing who you are, feeling who you are, sensing who you are. And when we come into this new way of being, we live from a space of feeling and sensing without thinking. So, can you breathe and feel and not think and do that for the most part? Now, doesn't mean we don't ever think. We, of course, engage the mind when we need logic and things like that. But coming into this space, eventually, more and more and more, we live in a space of silence, feeling, and then knowingness. So you go from analyzing up here, which is just the mind going back through its files of everything it's ever seen before, which is so limited, obviously. Everything it's heard, everything it's seen, which is all mostly other people's beliefs, maybe that you got from school or parents or teachers. And then it projects that onto today's situation. So, can you see how up here you're not really in touch with higher consciousness, with true wisdom, and with accurate information? So, as you take a breath and you sink into your body, you start to feel into your knowingness. I know that I know. Okay. And loving yourself rather than working on yourself. This is the foundation to be in presence, to be feeling, to not be off into the mind. But now, what do we do from here? Does it mean that we sit around on the couch all day and eat, I don't know, bonbons or ice cream because that's what we like and that's how we're going to love ourselves? Where do you go from here is the question. And how can you still help to move out that old energy? Now, I'm bringing this up for a very important reason because there's a lot of information out there that says you don't have to do anything. It's all being done for you. And it is all being done for you. Trust me, look at the planet. Can you tell that the whole planet's getting woken up, shook up? I don't know. It is happening for us. But there is a very big distinction here as to whether or not you are on board and a co-creator, or if you're just like asleep and not really participating. So, being the creator that you are is where you embrace your mastery, your wisdom from this space of presence. And over the days and weeks and years, from the time that you woke up, how much wisdom have you gained? How much clarity have you gained from being in presence and silence? You start to use that wisdom more and more and more, and you access it from this place of presence. And you remember that part of your natural state of being is that you are an energy master. You created every ounce of density in your body and mind and world. And then you go, I can uncreate that and create something new. So it's not a completely passive journey. And unfortunately, I see a lot of folks who go, well, it's all happening for me, so I'm just going to sit here and I don't know. I've done it myself, so I'm not like making fun of somebody else. I can make fun of my past self. I'm going to sit on the couch and eat ice cream or drink beer and eat pizza or whatever and just let it be done for me. And how you know that what you're doing maybe isn't actually loving yourself is it starts to feel heavier and not lighter. You feel less and less like yourself, and you feel more and more like the old energy, the old heavy emotions. So it's pretty easy to navigate when you are feeling everything. And then you go, oh, this doesn't feel great. Maybe this isn't actually self-love. Maybe this is an old pattern of familiarity that I slipped into because the ego loves comfort and familiarity. It is scared shitless of change, of new, of what it can't control, of the unknown. And you, as creator, the eternal one, has no fear. So this discernment is so important. So if it's not just sitting on the couch eating bonbons, and by the way, if you do that for a while, fine. I mean, it's not like pass or fail. You're not getting a grade from anyone. This is you. This is your journey. You get to decide how willing you are to align with your higher consciousness. And what I've learned is when I don't, it becomes heavier and heavier and heavier and more painful really quick. The body becomes more painful, the feelings become heavier, the joy gets sucked out. So, again, when you're feeling, it's pretty easy to discern uh, whether you're in alignment with you, whether you're really loving yourself, Or maybe sometimes it's just an old egoic pattern of comfort rather than love. So you use this discernment, this wisdom, this feeling. Does it feel light, expansive, joyful? Or does it seem like something I want to do, and then after I do it for a while, it feels heavy, confining, yeah, comfortable, but usually when you go down the road of comfort, there's this thing that happens. It's this friction, this restlessness, and this is very important key. When you're choosing comfort over expansion, over expression, over transcending the next current, whatever level of old energy that you're kind of moving through, when you choose comfort again and again and again and again over expansion, your energy starts to become like a pressure cooker and you start feeling friction. It's like, I can't sit still and I can't do anything. What's going on? It's sort of like a weird little purgatory thing. And this friction, this restlessness is telling you something. It's your energy wanting to expand. And that next level of expansion, though, it's going to be like stepping over a threshold, okay? It's going to be moving beyond something, some kind of discomfort. It's going to take all of your awareness and your courage and your commitment to yourself to say, damn it, I'm doing it. All right. Whether it's putting down the ice cream, getting off the couch, maybe it's creating something really awesome. Maybe it's just physically going out into the world and getting moving. That's where your wisdom comes in and you connect with yourself. Show me. Show me what else I can do. Show me. Bring me ideas. So I want to make this very, very literal and real. And again, I want to share how this like comes into my life so you can have a real example. This very morning, I woke up and it's like I've had this heaviness in my body for about the last week, almost a whole week now, where it's like, ugh, I don't feel like working out. I don't really feel like physically moving. I can feel deep inside, it's like an emotional heaviness. So I know there's something going on here. Um, just everything feels a bit heavier and more difficult this week. It almost feels like wet clay. I was thinking, boy, this is just a really damp, heavy kind of an ick, you know? And so you just move through your day, you're aware of it, you don't judge it. Um, I'm sure you can relate to this, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's grief, whether it's what I'm describing. I wasn't even giving it a label because I prefer not to even bother with all that mental stuff, right? So I've been aware of it. And so interestingly enough, even last week, I thought I'm not going to have my usual yogurt and berries for breakfast because it's damp and cold and heavy. And I wanted like some toast or something that was light. Um, I had a sandwich that I toasted, something lighter, warmer, just because it felt like even eating damp and heavy foods. If anybody's familiar with Ayurveda, 20, 30 years ago, I was super duper big into Ayurveda. So it's like sometimes you don't want to add to those feelings in your body by eating foods that seem to just amplify that same feeling. So, of course, in winter here, you might crave warm soup or toast or things that are warm and toasty and cozy. And that can help your body through these shifts and changes. So, anyway, this morning I'm waking up, usually I would work out, and it was like, nope, I'm just going to go into this feeling. That's it. It's time to love myself. It's not work. It is actually acknowledging that I can go in. I created this somewhere along the line, this life, other life, it doesn't matter. And I can uncreate it. I can access it. I can open it up. I can bring the light in and I can speed things up. Now, would these things clear out on their own? Yeah, eventually. but I spent a good part of a decade sitting on the couch, letting it all happen for me before I became very, we'll say, active and focused on taking a part in it. We'll say speeding things up, accelerating what was already happening, and how awesome and joyful that was to get back to life and living and feeling fully alive and exploring more of my own innate skills and mastery. So, as I'm sitting here this morning, I breathe, I feel into it. We're not trying to figure anything out from here. I go deep into my body, and this came with a sensation. So, call this somatic healing if you like. I went into the sensation of the body, which I was feeling kind of right in the middle of my back, and just like a heaviness, like, I just want to sit down or I want to lay down. And so I went right into this sensation and said, all right, it's time to see what's here. Show me the root cause. I like to envision pulling a plant out by its roots and shaking the dirt off. That's just me. Okay. So then I put a doorway. Now, I should back up. I was in silence. I was in presence. Take a breath with me. When you do these things, come to a space of silence and presence. Get out of here. You can call this theta healing. If you can't get into silence and presence, use a tool. Come to my breathe and feel events. I've been doing them for 4 years now. We go into the body, we go into silence, we go into theta, we go into presence, but find some binaural beats or learn how to bring yourself out of the mind. For the love of God, if you have not mastered that yet, then put that on your list of jobs to do. No, but it's no work. It's actually the opposite of work because you're not thinking. You're not working out a problem. You're not analyzing. And people will maybe sometimes look at being in silence as a job to do, a battle with the mind. It couldn't be more opposite. You just stop engaging, you stop battling. It's the absence of work, ironically. But anyway, come into a space of silence, presence, get as quiet as you can, okay? And then from there, I put a doorway and I walked through it. The doorway to the root cause of this, all right? And as I went through that doorway, I found myself like, do you ever go to like a water park? Here we have them, and you go down these slides, and you just slide down through a tube. It was like that. I was sliding down through this tube, and then I landed in this place. And it was like, if you imagine a huge city and they threw all their dirty laundry into a place, and then it all landed into a damp, dark, gross place filled with heaps and piles of dirty laundry. And it was like, if you think about it, old costumes, old identities of mine. And so I land here and I'm just in presence. I'm watching it. All right. We're not going to go up here and try to analyze anything. I don't care what those costumes, I don't care what life they're from, what age they're from. Now, I welcomed my whole team to come with me as I always do. My friends, my family, the angelic, archangelic, and ascended host realms. Yeshua was right there. He's been flanking my right side a lot lately, very letting me know that he's here. And Germain, Saint Germain, I call him Germain. Uh, and the whole crew, right? All the archangels, all of my light team. So bring these guys with you. They're higher level aspects of you. You're a multidimensional being, okay? And this is you accessing your multidimensionality. This is you just being you. So I'm down here, I take a breath, look around. What the heck is this? Well, this ain't working for me anymore. Not really loving the heaviness. It's old energy. It's damp. It's dark. It's musty. It's gross. Let's clean this place up, guys. So I enlist my friends to start turning on the lights everywhere to light it up. I ask them to drill a little hole over there and we make a. Do you ever see a coal mine? You have tracks and you have the little carts and you put the coal in. I had them build one of those and they start loading up all the old dripping, wet, soggy, damp clothes and running it out the building. And it wasn't a building, it was a giant mountain. So we're in the base of this mountain and it's like cold and damp because it's all, um, like the inside of a mountain. I don't know how to describe that. Anyway, and then I just said, well, clean it all up. So they clean out one area, then another area, then another area. And before you know it, it's empty. And so I said, well, let's put some lights in here. We got to have light. Now, we put lights in, then we turned it into a dome, and then we planted all sorts of grass. We brought some topsoil in, and then we basically turned it into a beautiful jungle, um, wide open to the sun with lush, gorgeous greenery everywhere. And the inside of it just turned into like one of those clear blue ponds. And then it felt really wonderful to dive in and float in this turquoise, translucent water. And I invited all my friends and family, and before you knew it, there was a whole community there, and it was just a blast. Now, was that work? Was that work? Is imagination work? Do you use your imagination? Is it getting into the mind to use your imagination? Is it like you're not being pure presence if you use your imagination? Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. You used your imagination to create a dark, damp, dingy, very unpleasant space in your consciousness. That was you. You created that space. And if I think back to when I was a child, that space reminds me of our old laundry room, which was a cistern. Do you guys know what a cistern is? The house is probably 150 years old that I grew up in, and it had, centipedes everywhere and like, mice and really it would flood, like there was a sump pump, but it would flood and it was kind of scary as a child. And when I tune into it, it's like how many of us as a child sat, we were scared, lonely, felt like we did something wrong, felt unloved, felt rejected, felt betrayed, felt like other people didn't like us, were laughing at us. Maybe the kids at school were mean, maybe your family was mean, on and on and on. And we sat there and we ruminated about these things and we created these dark places within us. So you used your imagination really well as a child, okay? Let's get back to using our imagination now as a creator. What would you like to create? I had a blast this morning creating a beautiful, sparkly, lush space, butterflies and birds, and oh my God, that was so much fun. Now, is that work? Or is it more relaxing to sit and watch, I don't know, TikTok or YouTube or Netflix or whatever, where we sit back and we just absorb all the shit that the media is sending at us, right? All the fear, 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 fear. So, how about to love yourself more and work less? Start using your imagination instead of relying on social media. The news, is kind of what I'm thinking of, but there's still a lot of crap out there, right? What would you love to create? And so, accessing these places, this is just you and your multidimensionality. You created it, you can uncreate it. No problem. So, I've been talking a lot here on these new videos about shifting your state of consciousness. And also the whole, there's a lot of confusion about, God, am I just whitewashing this? Am I sugar coating a turd and calling it a donut hole? I've eaten a lot of shit sandwiches in my life. How about you? Where I was like, yeah, that's great. And saying yes when I wanted to say no. So, absolutely, you want to learn to say no more to old energy, no more to anything less than love. This is not a fluffy thing. You start to love yourself by saying, I choose nothing less than love in my life. And that starts on the inside with all of the energies that I've created myself. And you start cleaning house. And then you start redesigning. So, when I say stop working on yourself, I'm talking about analyzing it from up here. Notice when I went down into that wet, damp space, I wasn't concerned about where did these come from? The stories behind them. Who cares? When you're ready to be done with it, just move it out. And in fact, the stories are going to come up. So I'll add one thing here. One thing I've noticed this week as this space was, I'll say it's been coming to the surface to leave. I did notice a lot of old stories. I was in my awareness seeing people from all walks of life, from all ages, grade school, middle school, high school, 20s, 30s, 40s, up till 50s. And you can always tell when this stuff is clearing because as these memories leave, all those old costumes, all that old energy, those are old stories, old memories. As they come up to leave, they go through your awareness. And you're like, oh, that person. Oh, that person. Why am I thinking of this? Why is this person in my awareness? Take a breath and say, it's all leaving. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. For the love of you, for the love of your life, for creating lighter and brighter feeling within you through your body, for being more in presence, less up here. Let the old stories leave. This is where the ego is absolutely a master at convincing you to sit and analyze, to work it out, to work out a problem, it's like life is some puzzle to solve. As soon as I figure this one thing out, I know everything. Stop. When you see these things, when you catch yourself, stop, take a breath, come into your body, breathe and feel. And if you have repetitive thoughts that come that is this thing I'm explaining, you just stop. All right. So if you make one thing most important, it's how do I feel right now? And knowing that you can shift out of here to here, out of fear, survival, over mentalizing things, to ease and presence, and all is well. So stop working and love yourself instead.